What's going on, everyone? It's LOZA. It's the 28th of June, and guess what? That means the Dark Magician of Destruction is officially out in Japan, as well as Gaze of Timaeus and all the squad. So get excited to see a lot of lists from the OCG with Dark Magician players trying to top their locals and bigger events as well. We'll be looking at those deck profiles, but just keep in mind they are best of one, and think about things like if people are playing Artifact Lancia to beat Malice, well, that also indirectly hurts us, because guess what? Dark Magician of Destruction needs to banish. Yeah, it really should have just tributed a Dark Magician monster, but no, instead it banishes whatever you use to make it, and if you can't banish, because of Lancia, you cannot summon it, so, yep. We lose to another hand trap. Nice. So yeah, we're going to get a bit of crossfire from Malice for no real reason, but at least in the TCG, that's only going to be in games 2 and 3, when they side in all their Lancias that they had for the Malice matchup. Anyway, check out this beautiful copy of the Dark Magician of Destruction. I think it looks beautiful. I do hope they give it a nice QCR or Starlight as well. That would be really cool. And yeah, there's lots of news happening in LOZA land today because it is the 28th of June, which is my birthday for those who don't know. Super randomly, Sonic now has Magic cards. Happy birthday, LOZA. I don't even play Magic, but Shadow on a Magic card, that's freaking cool. Alright, let's just jump into a small combo because I think it is important that we show off how the new Dark Magician girl just makes the Dark Magician of Destruction so much better. Like, it makes him viable because, quite frankly, him banishing our materials and stuff was really awkward. But this card kind of just makes everything make sense again. So yeah, moving forward, Dark Magician players, you need to pick up Shining Sarcophagus and some copies of Dark Magician Girl from the Shining Sarc archetype. And here's why I think she's going to be a mandatory 3-of moving forward and our best starter for the deck. She still needs a discard, which is a bit unfortunate, but we're going to discard Prep here, which is also a 1-card combo into Dark Magician of Destruction, but that's because she gets you a little bit more. We're going to use her effect to search here. Now, you could be hit with Imperm or Veiler here, right? And that would kind of end all of this. You'd have to have a spell in hand. But the new Gaze of Timaeus, which I also think should be a 3-of here, can act like a pseudo Call by the Grave here, or Cross-out Designator if you want to go that far. So we're going to chain the Gaze of Timaeus here on this search effect. This also lets us activate a spell, which is good. We're able to go into either of these 3 options, all of which are good options. Whether you go into Timaeus and have an MST on your opponent's turn with a guy that's just really big and unaffected, whether you go into Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, and have a discard pop a card on the field like a semi-Little Dragoon, or whether you go into the Dark Magicians, which has a lot of crazy lines because we haven't activated Shining Sarc yet. So we're going to activate Shining Sarc, she's going to draw, or sorry, Dark Magicians will draw. Then you will go search for Gandora, summon Gandora pop Dark Magicians. The possibilities are endless. Long story short, I think with Gaze of Timaeus and the new Dark Magician Girl being so viable in the deck, Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight has some value now. I wouldn't mind ending my board with her and Dragoon. Like, that's a really nice end board as long as your opponent doesn't have super polymerization. Whereas Dark Magicians and Timaeus both have their own value, I really want to push for Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight. Now, this means you need more discards, which is a little bit awkward, but I think we can manage it. So, we're going to activate the Shining Sarcophagus, and remember, we haven't normal summoned yet, so the new thing about Preparation of Rites going into Dark Magician of Destruction and the Shining Sarcophagus stuff going into, well, exactly what you see here, we are able to go get a normal summon then. So you can play Rod at 1 and Gadget Trio at 1 and still play a Primite Engine, which is just crazy, right? At this point, because we don't have a way to Dark Magician of Destruction, let's get away there. You'll notice we also shuffled back the Dark Magician Girl, so we had 3 still in the deck, which is pretty funny. Alright, going into our Dark Magician, which has no effect, but now suddenly he does. Alright, we're going to activate this, and we can now search a normal summon since, hey, we never searched a normal summon. You'd normally go for Illusion of Chaos to fix up your hands. We're going to skip a step though and just go straight for Rod. But just note that if you had multiple cards in hand, including ones you want to put back, really good to go for Illusion of Chaos here. Put back some of those cards you don't want, go get the Rod you do, and keep the Illusion of Chaos for a later turn, right? Right now we're just going to go and use Rod, and we can search anything we like. We've only got the Dark Magician on field, so Soul Servant's got neutral value here, unfortunately, because we had to chain the Gaze early. I think all you do at this point is just Gaze of Timaeus, get another one. It's kind of the new deck's gameplay loop. Circle and Eternal Soul's a little bit dated. Turn these guys into any Link 2 you like, whether you go into the Fiendsmith package from here, whether you go into a further extender from here, that is up to you. I believe this combo is a decent amount of summons though. We've specialed the DMG, that's one. We went into this, that's 2. We summoned 1, 2. Oh, actually, yeah, we're playing in Nibiru well and truly here, but that's okay. If the opponent does hit you with Nibiru, I believe we can just activate SP Little Knight, tag both of these out, pass back. So that's why I like SP Little Knight as the end board, but just know you can extend into any Link 2 that you like, and like whether you want to keep comboing off is totally up to you. Now on the opponent's turn, you're just going to be able to Gaze of Timaeus, shuffle back that Dark Magician of Destruction, and you got yourself a Dragoon. That's pretty good, right? Magician's Rod will trigger, but we're not going to do anything with that. Just leave your Dragoon on the field. Unless you have a random other spellcaster laying around and you really need the card in hand for Dragon Knight or Dragoon. Of course, the hand I showed you with was a 3-card hand, so in theory you will have 2 more cards in hand. 1 discard for this, 1 discard for this, which is not that great when you think about it. Like, you're going to lose your entire hand, but the good news is on the next turn, on the following turn, you're going to be able to add with Shining Sark, get your draw for turn, and you're going to be able to turn Dragoon into Dark Magician of Destruction again when it comes back to your turn. You'll lose the Dark Magician Girl Dragon Knight because she was summoned on your turn, but yeah, once again, as long as you just use the Sark effect and Sark survived, you're going to be fine. Go and get whatever, normal summon, DMG, doesn't matter. Suddenly you can go for your Dragoon pop. No, we don't have any because we used an effect monster. But you can just turn him straight back into this after you probably swing in battle phase. But you get what I mean. Go back into this in main phase 2 and just keep comboing, right? Just keep playing the game. Set up the loop again. Get Gaze. Do the loop again. This is like the gameplay loop now. It's just go get Gaze. Rinse and repeat. What happens when you run out of copies of Gaze? Go get Soul Servant. Recycle the Gaze, right? It is never-ending Gaze. We love to see it. And you're just going to keep going from here, right? I really do think this is the future of the deck. So yeah, long story short, make sure you pick up 3 copies of the Dark Magician Girl and 3 copies of Shining Sark. We may cut down on them in future, like we've already cut Future Silence to 1 in testing. We were playing just 3, 3, 3, but I think because of the engine, once you see 1 card in it, you don't really want to see any more. I think this 7 number is pretty good. Now, of course, if you've seen my other videos, you'll know we have a build that doesn't just have Shining Sark in it. It's also got engines like Diabell and Primite as well, which I think is crazy. Now, if you have a look at those engines, you'll also see there's room to fit in like a branded regain / bestial package, which I think might be mandatory going forward since we're always banishing our cards with Dark Magician of Destruction and Gaze of Timaeus. Unfortunately, this does mean another engine added to the engine slop of Dark Magician, but that is just kind of our future right now, thanks to Konami making our cards really good for other decks. A classic Dark Magician problem. And yes, some people say, well, Yugi didn't just use Dark Magician, he used heaps of things. It's like, okay guys, are you going to play Beaver Warrior in your deck? No, you're not, so sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Though I would play Celtic Guardian, that guy goes hard. Anyway, just a little bit of banter before we go. But yeah, if you ever checked out my previous video as well, in which I talked about how Dark Magician of Destruction is not Shining Sark support based on, you know, the card art, and how each Shining Sark card has a gold trim and he doesn't. It's kind of ironic how I said that, which I still believe is true for the card's intention and artwork. However, in actual fact, Konami has made the card the single easily abused card. I still think I was right to say that with the information we had at the time, but the fact that Konami made this so generic, of course, this card is just like better in Shining Sark once again. It's baffling how much Konami fumbles the bag. They should have just made Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl from Shining Sark, just make them identify as the vanillas so we can play them in pure at this point. Like, just let it happen, Konami. They're just better than the vanillas. Like, come on, man. Let us just play them. I just wish they identified as Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl in the grave. Like, if they did that, we would just throw out the vanillas completely and probably Primite Engine as well, which sounds wild to say. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know why is this card so good, but also so bad. And don't forget, we lose to Lancia and Chaos Hunter from Crossfire from Malice being a meta deck. Yay! I'd like to do a little shout out to all the Dark Magician members of this channel. That is the DM Royals. You guys are awesome. Shout outs to Godney Grapes, who's constantly donating memberships when I do stream. And yeah, if you'd like to watch me stream, jump over to my YouTube channel. There's a live tab and there's all my streams there. If you do happen to catch a live, great. I just kind of stream randomly, so sorry. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell hit, and you'll hopefully get a notification that I'm live. Even though sometimes they just don't send them out because YouTube's weird. But anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.